When you picture about being a millionaire, you normally think about that techie job or that flashy income, that high-end job title that someone can get so that they can make a lot of money so that they can become a millionaire. But I'm here to break that bubble and tell you that you can become a millionaire even with a low salary. There have been real stories of janitors and security guards that have become millionaires from their low wage salaries, and this has caught the eyes of many people in the news, and they were able to feature three janitors. And one of these janitors has been, people knew that he is a millionaire after he passed on. What happened is this janitor used to save a lot of money from his low income. For instance, if you're earning 50,000 shillings, probably he was saving more than half of what he was earning. And he leveraged that to the aspect of time in the accounts that he was saving. They were giving him high interest. And he kept it on the low key until when he passed on, and his families and lawyers looked up his portfolio and realized that he was a millionaire in dollars. This janitor was able to become a millionaire in his old age by following these 4 pillars that I'm going to discuss in this video. So stay and learn these 4 pillars that you can also apply in your life and become better at managing your finances. The goal is for you to know how to manage your finances early enough so that you can be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. The first pillar is frugality, and frugality simply means you account for every dollar that you spend. You are keen in understanding where your money is going. You are just not spending because you have the money, but you are keen. You can cut on costs. You can cut on cost on your rent. You can cut on cost on your impulse buying. You can cut on cost on subscription that you do not use. And then this amount of money, you can direct them into a savings account, especially the ones that have high interest as compared to the traditional bank accounts. And the myth and misconception about many people is that you can only save if you are making a lot of money. That's not true. From the backstories that we have learned about janitors and security guards who have been able to save and invest their money and become millionaires, that already tells you that it is not a matter of the amount of money that you make, but it is how you spend that money. It is the small habits that you pick up every day. It is that aspect of buying things so that you can show off to other people that you are financially stable. And when it comes to frugality, you actually do not care about approval of other people. You are more concerned of how you spend your money, and you are more concerned on your personal goals. If you have said that by the end of the year, I must have had, or I must have saved $1,000 in my emergency fund, then that is a goal that you can do at any income level. You just have to break it down into milestone and understand how much money do I have to save every month to reach that emergency fund account of $1,000. Here is an example of someone who is earning 50,000 shillings in the Kenyan amount. One person is earning 50,000 shillings and another person is earning 80,000 shillings or even 100,000 shillings. And the person who is earning 50,000 shillings is able to save 15,000 shillings in their savings account. And the person who is making 100,000 is saving 5,000 or even 10,000 into their savings account. And if you subject these people into the same amount of years in saving, like 10 years, you'll realize that the person who is earning 50,000 has saved more money than the person who is earning 100,000 shillings. And this is to tell you that it's not about the money that you make, it's about the amount of money that you dedicate into your savings. Being frugal or frugality is what helps you to save more money and become financially stable as years goes by, because you cannot become wealthy in one day. It's time, it's compounding interest, it's compounding of your good money habits that you have every day. And by this will make you place you in a better place than someone who is not saving at all, or they are just saving very little even though they are making a lot of money. The second pillar is invest aggressively. When you look at this janitor who was able to become a millionaire in their old age, and people knew about it after he passed on, is because he was investing aggressively. Also, another term to say is become obsessed with investment. Become obsessed. Anytime you make an income, there is a specific percentage that must go to your emergency fund or your high interest saving account. Let's break it down, and I'm just going to read it because these are figures. Let's imagine that you are saving $3,000 per year in your emergency account or in your savings account. If you start at the age of 18, you'll have saved $1.35 million at the age of 65. If you start at 25, you will have $777, 169. If you start at the age of 35, you'll have around $340,000. If you start at the age of 45 years, you'll have around $137,000. If you start at the age of 55 years, you'll have $43,000. So you can see there is a difference, and this account we are just estimating it gives you an annual income of around $10, 10% per year. And you can see when you start early and you leverage the aspect of time, you will be able to make more money at 65. Look at the person who started in saving the significant amount of money at 18 years. They have been able to raise $1.35 million. So the main point here is start as early as possible, and then you'll be able to leverage that time according to the savings account that you get, savings account interest that you get every year. Another good example is Warren Buffett. Most of the people say that Warren Buffett is rich, but he started investing at the age of 10, and most of his wealth or most of his portfolio growth happened at the age of 65 years. That is when the years that he took to invest and he stayed in the investment market is what added value into his portfolio. So if you're watching this video, the best thing to do is start investing now. Even if you're in campus, start now. That 1,000 shillings, that 500 shillings, that 300 shillings, that 100 bob, that 50 bob, it will account to much more money as you let it stay in your high yield savings account. There are so many savings accounts that have high interest today in our Kenyan market. So if you're watching me from other countries, I am sure there are also money market funds accounts that you can start saving and watch your money grow over the years. The goal is to let your money sit in the investment longer than any other person. That's how you'll be able to reap the benefits of having invested at an early age and letting it stay. As I have shown you the figures, you can see someone who started at 18 years is able to build $1.3 million, as compared to when you start investing at 45 years, you'll have accumulated $137,000. The third pillar is think long-term and delay gratification. When you look at this janitor, he could have just used money to buy things that are making him happy, maybe upgrade his phone, upgrade his house, upgrade his clothing, but he chose not to do all that and decided to aggressively invest money. So this is a pillar that if you want to become financially stable and become smart in managing your finances, you need to start thinking the long term. Right now, you are at the age of 30 to 35 years or up to 45 years or even 20 years. You should start thinking about your retirement. When you retire, you will not be able to make money as you are making right now when you are directly involved. Remember, employments end at 65 years. That's when you retire, or even another 60 years. And at this point, you're already tired and you will be needing a lot of cash flow as compared to when you are young, because your health could be failing you. You need regular checkup with the doctors. You need to eat well. At this time, you cannot compromise on what you are eating as compared to when you are younger. And for you to be able to live well, you need money to buy good food. You need money for those doctor's appointments. You need money for those supplements. You need money for medicine. So while you are young right now, think about your old age and start saving towards your retirement, and know that when you retire, you need cash flow. And another thing is, when you look at your parents right now, your older parents, they do not have cash flow. Even though they have land, they have already built homes, and they just have these hard assets that we are dying to have in our young age, but they are still borrowing money. When they have a medical emergency, they will still make few calls in the family so that they can get money to go to the house, to the hospital. This means that as long as you're pursuing assets that like land and property, you also need to pursue money that is liquid, that can help you maneuver your daily lives. Because you cannot say today I have an emergency, I want to liquidate this piece of land. It can take you years to actually convince someone to buy from you that land. So as you continue pursuing assets like land and property, please have in mind that you will need a lot of cash flow in your old age, and start working towards that. The fourth pillar is stay consistent and have multiple streams of income. Once you start saving, you say, I will be saving 10% of every income that I have. I'll be saving 5% of every income that I have. I'll be saving 15% of every income that I earn. Then please stay consistent. Do not do it January, you skip February, March, and then you start doing it in April. You skip other 3 months, you start doing it in November. By the end of the year, you look at your savings account and you start saying savings that does not work. No, savings work. The problem is you are not consistent in your savings plan. But if you stay consistent in the long run, you'll be able to enjoy the benefits of having a huge amount of savings in your high interest account. And another thing is, you can add multiple streams of income so that you can increase your savings percentage. If you're only depending on one source of income, then start thinking, where else can I make money? What else can I sell to people that they can pay you and increase your income, hence increase your savings, so that you can achieve your financial goals the way you have set them. And the aspect of increasing sources of income, especially when you are now above 30 years, you should think of increases your sources of income so that you can increase the amount of savings. You can be able to salvage the years that you lost in your 20s, between your 20s and 30, that you did not save anything, or the years that you are just existing and you did not have any financial information. So when you have more sources of income, then you can be able to save more and close that gap. And because when you are 30, you are giving your savings 35 years, then you can close that gap and let your money stay in that high yield savings account for 35 years. Savings is not the only way to gain your financial freedom. You can also use that money to invest. You can buy stocks that gives you dividends. You can buy shares. It all depends with where you are at financially. Look at the market. Ask yourself, where can I invest this money to give me high income? And the goal is to stay in the investment and in the money market space longer than anyone else. That's the only way you'll be able to see the difference. The number one source of income is your salary. And once you get a salary, don't just rest and say, I'm earning good money, I'm able to pay all my income, all my expenses. That's not it. From there now, start thinking about which stocks can I invest in, which shares can I buy. And you can also have rental income. And to earn rental income, you don't need to build property. You can do Airbnb business, have a side hustle job. I have made a video about 10 side hustles that you can start in 2025. Please, I have attached the link, is up here. Click on it and go watch that content and find out which side hustle best works for you and add it in your portfolio. Becoming a millionaire at a low salary, it's not a fantasy. It's something that you can achieve. And once you apply all these 4 pillars, that is frugality, and start investing early, be consistent in your investment, have multiple sources of income, then you will be able to achieve your $1 million financial goal.